All right, hey everybody, RV Enthusiast here. Nice seeing you again. Hey, it is Thursday morning, about 8 o'clock. I'm outside starting to work on the RV. Got a few things I'm trying to do on it right now. I'm going to try to fix them steps. I'm going to try to bend them back. I'm probably going to have to take the mechanism off, the motor. I'm going to have to disconnect the motor just so I don't break anything there, and then I'll use some leverage and bend that step back into place, reconnect the motor. I did spray it with some WD-40 earlier, and it seemed to help. The stairs kind of go in, and if you kind of give it a little bit of a kick, it gets past the heavy clicking. And once you get past that heavy clicking, that's what's bugging me. Then it turns itself off. So what I want to show you, I'll let you hear that heavy clicking. Hey, also, if you look real quick on the pole barn, this door is all painted. We've still got to paint black around the trim, black around the trim on this side too. But right there, that's all we have left to paint. We, meaning Laura. And if you look, the reason the RV is parked kind of outside the barn and is we're getting up on top of the RV and using it as our place to sit. She's using it as a place to sit to paint. So multi-purpose RV here, you know, and it works because the ladder is an A-frame, is too short, and then as a extension ladder, it's tall enough, but then it's just up, down, up, down, up, down. This way she has the ability to set the paint pan right where she needs it. We move the door up and down so it gets in her space to paint. But she's got, you know, maybe an hour and a half left because she does double coat it. And then that'll be done. Anyway, let's get on this step and see what we can figure out. It would help if my RV were taller. I'm going to close it and take a look. So you can hear that, right guys? Let me hear it. Let you hear it. Does look like it's straight up and down to push out. There's the pin. Okay, I'm a little bit lazy. Went and got the hammer, the pry bar, and everything, but didn't get myself something to lay on. This 3/4 minus, a bit sharp. Okay, there's the pin. And there's the arm out. So good. All right, I'm going to try to bend it out, straighten it. Let's see how that goes. Put the leverage here. And I'm going to hit it into the rock and into the dirt some. I think that's enough. Way better. Still think I got a little bit more to go. That's pretty good in terms of how it sits in the door. This bracket looks pretty straight. This bracket is definitely bent over. But as long as I can get it to go smooth, and see, that's not smooth. That's worse, harder, more difficult. And that's what's causing it to bind, see? So what I'm doing, there's a bracket, an L bracket that comes down. and these are riding on that bracket. And if I can just scoot them out of the way a little bit, which I'm doing, that should free this up some. Frees it up a lot. Alright guys, I got the pin put back in. Certainly straight to the door. But I now know for a fact I got this free. See, it stops right there, but if I can just get it, it just doesn't take it up all the way. If it took it up all the way right there, it's fine, but it leaves it there. Comes down fine, comes up, gets stuck right there. Sounds like a cog is missing from the motor that pulls it up. Also, when this step is live, you got to be very careful because it can pinch the crap out of you. I just know because of the strength of that motor. And you look at these pieces like this right here, look at. If that catches you, oh shit, that's gonna hurt. Alright, I see the problem. I don't know that I can fix it, but I see it. Alright, so if the door goes in, it shuts. If the door comes out, it opens. I mean, the steps open. So, but when it comes in, if I put a little pressure backwards on it, like this, it hits that coggy piece and won't let it go in. So I've got a broken cog there on the inside. One of them gears is not working right. So what I got to do is either replace that unit or pull it out, turn it, put it back in. Then I got to guess where it goes. Because I'm sure it's not using that whole wheel. Using like half that wheel, so I think I can turn it 180 degrees and get more use out of it. See if I can find better gears in the gearbox rather than, you know, whatever it is. I don't know what it costs. If it doesn't work, I'll have to buy it. But what's happened is some of the gears in there are stripped. And the throw of this motor is only about 40%. So what I'm going to do is, let me screw this back on. This don't need to come off. Is I'm going to rotate this around and use a different portion of the gearbox, and that'll solve my problem until either I get a new one or it goes out again, and then I'll buy a new one and replace the gearbox. I'm probably going through more than I need to, but it's like I said, I'm a little bit on the cheap side, and if it isn't all done, all used up, I want to use it all up. Know what caused it. So for me, what caused it is I know I bashed into some a berm, and it bent all this out of place. So, and then it got harder and harder for it to move in and out. So in this case, I'm just going to move this cog and or the gear, move some cogs in the gear, and see if that solves my problem. It may take more than once to do. It may take me 2 times or so to do. But if I can get it to work, for me, it'll probably last a good long time. Point you up a little bit. So I don't know how good of a view that is. Ordinarily, you would disconnect this motor. I'm totally disconnected here, and the door is open. It can't get past my shoulder, so the motor's not going to run no matter what. So there's 3 bolts here, here, and here. I need to take those off. And once I get those off, this will be a little bit difficult to pull down, but I'll pull it down. I'll cycle the door to move the cogs in the motor, and we'll have a new position there. And we will from that point reassemble, and that should solve our problem. If it doesn't, I'll try it one more time, and if that doesn't solve my problem, then I'll just order it off of Amazon and get it here in a few days and get back to doing this. Like I said, I'm going to the coast in a few days. Next Friday, we're RVing to the coast. So I would like to have this repaired before I get there. So these are out. There it is. That came off. These gears are fine. So I know it's these gears. Be careful. Again, this is mechanical. A lot of stuff going on in here. And well, the motor's out, so I can't do anything there. But I'm trying to hunt where I feel that. Right there, yeah. I'm missing about 4 teeth right there. Now I've got to figure out how to get to the other side of that so I'm not using those teeth. Yeah, definitely got 4 of them broke right there. 1, 2, let's count them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 or 5 of them are broke. Anyway, so up in here, let's see if I can show you. If we look up in this hole, here we are. Here's where the gears are. If you see these gears, see them coming around? And then right here, these are broken right here. You can see my finger. Those are broke off. There's no gears there. So what's happening is when the step is pulling back, it gets here and it just goes da 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 till it times out. So I got to get it past that or before it. So I have to get it past that or before that, and that'll solve the problem. There's no reason to replace it if I can just get past those 5, because all the rest of the gears are fine. And I'll know from this point if I'm going the right direction or not. Again, if you're unsure of you know, when the motor goes in and out and stuff like that, just be a little bit safe, and you can unplug right here, and then you won't have to deal with the electrical portion of it and accidentally moving it in or out while you're doing the work. In my case, like I said, the door is behind me, so it physically cannot. And to me, this beats paying, you know, I don't know, 75, 80 bucks. Shit, beats paying $50. And you see how easy it is. I'll show this video to you in its entirety, so you'll see it's not difficult. Okay, now we will energize the door. Let's move this out of the way. Here's where you don't want to get your fingers in here, because it'll shut and it'll hurt you. Okay. So that's probably a heck of a lot better. All right, so we'll assemble it and see. Oh. Well, there's another way to do it. Pull back on it. See, I'm still in that same rut. Because what I got to do is I got to rotate this dead spot here. I got to get it rotated out here. Wondering when I pull the motor off, possibly I can move it by hand. Probably can. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'd love to move it to the back spot right there. Well, I think my problem is I don't have 1 cog broke. I got 5 cogs broke, and that's probably going to create too big of a gap to overcome. Only other way is to take this bolt off, take that pin out, and physically move the cog. I think, because I'm more than a tooth. So I tried doing the little trick of trying to move the cog. Because I have 5 of them that are shot and they're kind of in the middle, I can't move the cog enough to make it work. So I ended up having to take the gearbox itself off. And if you look at the gearbox, if I had something that I could take and put in these 2 holes and like a gear puller and pull this off, then I could rotate this enough to get it out of the way, rotate it 180 degrees, get it out of the way, and then it would work. I don't have that. It doesn't mean I'm going to throw this away. I will keep it for a future use. But if you look, those are the 5 teeth I was telling you about. All the other teeth look pretty good. Those 5 are gone. Then back to good. So you can see it uses about 40% of that cog. So if these little limiters weren't here, you could rotate it out of the way. Or if I can get a gear puller and pull that off, I could rotate it out of the way. What I'll do is I'll play with this some other day. A new box is 85 bucks. So at this point, instead of fiddling around working on that, I figure I'll just show you how to change out this gearbox. It's pretty easy. So the reality of it is there's 3 screws here, 10mm screws that hold the motor on. You unscrew those, and then this has a plate on it. This sits on the plate, and this mounts to the RV. So pretty simple, pretty easy to do. But if these little stops weren't here, I would have tried to move it just enough out of the way. But you can see it stops it there, it stops it here, so I can't rotate it. This definitely could be pulled off, rotated around, and put back on, and that'll do it. But right now I don't have a gear puller. This I thought was a compression fitting, and I needed a puller to get it. But looking at it, I was like, I don't know, man. And then all of a sudden, I saw it looks different now because I cleaned it up. It's actually a pin that goes through. So I pulled the pin out, took this off, turned this 180 degrees. And now, in that 180 degrees, every one of these cogs are good. Anyway, I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what happens here. So the good thing about it is it's not real difficult to do. It's not like crazy hard or anything. I think for me, the biggest problem is I'm on rocks, and I can't really get up under the sea. But besides that, it's really quite easy. It's hard to screw these screws on. I'm kind of blind. This is blind. One. So it's a lot later in the afternoon. I've kind of dug the hole for my power on the pole barn to the house with the tractor with Johnny. I went inside. I hope you guys have a view of what I got going on here. All right, we shall plug her in. Okay, we'll know in a second here. Might not be perfect yet, but we'll know. I know it's not going to snap it. It's not going to grind. That's it. I just got to get this pin situated. There it is. So you kind of got to wiggle the pin in like that. The pin is now back in. So in addition to what what I was trying to do is just adjust the cog via moving this a little bit back and forth. I had a space of 5 of them that were bad, so I couldn't just move it a little bit. I had to move mine a lot. So to do that, save you money, basically you got to take, there's a little pin that sits right up in here. You got to knock that pin out, spin it 180 degrees, and put the pin back in, and that'll give you a whole fresh second half of the teeth that are never used, because it doesn't use but about 40% of them. So instead of spending $85, I think personally it's worth a try for you. All right, she's fixed, guys. Check it out. No clicking, all the way up. Down, up, down. I'm going to show you a bit more of this video probably than I ordinarily, well, I show you a lot of video all the time anyway, but I'm going to show you a bit of it because it's trial and error sometimes, and this is a trial that will save you $85 or whatever the cost of just that gearbox is. On the cheapest one I saw on Amazon was $61, and I think mine was the more expensive one at $85, and through Lippert this one's $109 and some change. So save yourself a little money. I know what caused mine, I'm not concerned with that. And if this lasts another 5-6 years, fantastic. If it doesn't, then I learned something. But this will last because that side of the gears are just fine. But it works, guys. Nice fix. A little longer than I wish it would have took, but I got other things done as well and had to think about it. So, but that's it. It's a little I don't know what they call them, but a little pin that goes through that bolt that holds it in place, and it can only go one of 2 ways. The way it's set, pull the pin out, pull the lever off, rotate the gears 180 degrees. That's the only other way it can go. Put it back together, and it works. All right, more to come. Anyway, getting ready for this, when are we? We're Thursday. Next Friday we're going RVing to the coast, and I'm looking forward to that, so trying to get her ready for that. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Remember, full-time, part-time, anytime is a great time to RV, and this was a good fix, man. This was a good fix. All right, guys, talk to you later.
To like, share, and subscribe, click the logo to the left.